if you're someone who struggles to be the person that you want to be and to challenge yourself and to get over your fears, I just want to talk about that and see if maybe I can help someone out there who's really struggling with something. And I'm not saying that you have to jump out of an airplane. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I feel like if you don't challenge yourself, if you don't do things that you're afraid of, then you're not going to be able to grow. And you might never see the person that you could be if you really learned how to get over those things. So, depending on the kind of person you are, this might vary. I personally like to break down an idea and see what it's made of. So, I started off by asking myself, well, what is fear? Why are we afraid of things? What comprises fear? And I started looking at several things. Sometimes you're afraid to be embarrassed. So, you dress normally and you don't do things that look weird because, I mean, why would you want to look strange? That's uncomfortable. There's uncertainty there. There's all kinds of things that could happen. There's fear of death, which is very common, and there's fear of failure and how that might look to people in your social circles. And a lot of these things prevent us from ever really trying to do things that we want to do. And sometimes you have people around you who will prevent you or at least try and discourage you from trying to do things that you're afraid of doing. And by the way, I got stuck here for a while, so my bad for that footage. But basically, you have to realize that behind any form of fear that you have, this uncertainty, this survival instinct almost that your body has, it's natural and it makes sense. You don't know what's at the other side. I don't know if I jump out of an airplane if I'm going to live or die. So I had to begin to reason with these thoughts and say, okay, what's there to actually be afraid of? Well, death, yes. And well, while I'm on the ground, I can also die. And while I'm in a car, I can also die. I mean, I can die at any moment. I don't have control. I don't have the ability to say when I live or die. I'm just here for as long as I'm allowed to be here. And that's the gift in it. And that's what, at least to me, made me appreciate life a little bit more, to go, hey, like, just enjoy what you're doing and whatever happens, happens. And that's kind of the idea that I've began to build on over time with fear. What's the worst that could happen if I walk around my city in a penguin suit? It's like, I thought it was fun that day, and maybe it makes someone smile. And you'll find a lot of times when you get past a fear that there's a lot of really amazing things. I went to go skydive on this day, and I thought to myself, there's no possible way. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to be sick to my stomach or whatever. But then I started thinking more positively about the experience and about life and coming to a state of acceptance. And I was happy. And I went up in the plane, and my heart wasn't racing. I was relaxed. As I grew up as a child, I've never even looked out of a plane window because I was so afraid just to look. And this time I spent the whole time looking. I was like, I want to see everything. I want to enjoy this experience. And that made it so much better. I don't know how low my heart rate was, but that's definitely something that surprised me. Like, my level of calm. Even the instructor, just to flex, he was like, you should do this. You should be a skydive instructor. And I'll think it over. But anyways, back to what I was saying. When you're trying to overcome your fear, it requires you to accept that uncertainty and risk are something that are just a part of the game. The most logical question after that is like, why risk? Why put yourself in a position that might not be the most favorable one? And to me, it's almost the same question as asking, like, why grow? I'd ask you, like, why stay stagnant? Why not try things? Why not develop yourself? I've met tons of people who won't even try something because they're like, well, that's just not going to work, and I don't think it's going to work. And, with that attitude, of course, it's not going to work. You're not going to have the energy. I mean, you're already downing yourself. You're pulling yourself further away from being able to do the thing that you're afraid of.